Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our 60-day post-release look at Doctor Who collector box sales data off of TCG Player in its entire pre-release period and out to 60 days post-release now. It has sold 1,318 boxes on TCG Player at a total cost of $303,000 for an average price of $230 per box. Now, these were sold at wholesale at the same price as a standard expansion collector box. So about that $188, putting the break-even price at $220. So to have a $230 average sales price over this entire period on TCG Player was very good, but we can see from this 7-day moving price average, yeah, it spiked up really high on release day and thereabouts, and then it's just done what the TCG expansion life cycle says you will always do. The price comes down as people get their fill, the excitement moves on, additional distribution waves come out, and the market has more than it can bear. So you can go out today and you can find these on TCG Player at $206. You can find them on eBay at $187. So prices that regular small card stores in the US can't even sell at and break even. So what to compare this against? Now I'm going to throw a couple things up on here in order. And first, I'm going to put Wilds of Eldraine because that is the scantest selling standard collector box we've had in the last year. And you can see that the red line of Wilds of Eldraine collector boxes outsold by about 33%, an additional $100,000. But again, that is the worst selling standard collector box in the last year. So Doctor Who sold worse than that. And then we're going to put a couple other things up here to put it in perspective. We'll throw Infinity, the yellow line just barely outsells it. And then we'll throw Aftermath. You know, we're reaching deep and looking for something terrible when we're throwing up the likes of Infinity and Aftermath sales to compare something to, but that's where Doctor Who collector boxes ran. And, you know, there are a lot of good reasons for this. First off, the Commander decks for Doctor Who is what you really wanted to buy. You could get every Doctor Who card in the Commander decks. Every card in the expansion was represented in the Commander decks. So if you were simply looking for mechanically unique game pieces, they were in the Commander decks, and that was the cheaper place to get them than buying these collector boxes. You know, second off is just the problem that Doctor Who was a really poor IP to bring into Magic. The crossover of fan bases was never going to be that large. You know, Doctor Who is mostly a British phenomenon, to a lesser extent a European phenomenon, and to a far distant extent an American phenomena where game sales are driven and especially Magic sales are driven. So just the overlap was not going to be good. And this is a really bad time for Doctor Who. You know, they rebooted the series back around 2005 or 2007 or so, started making new shows again, and it's kind of ran its course for this generation, and the current episodes of the last year or so have just had absolutely abysmal ratings. So it's just not a good time to try to get your Doctor Who fans to buy a bunch of Magic cards that, well, they're probably not really that interested in them, and it's not a good time for Magic fans try to entice them to buy an unpopular IP of Doctor Who. Now, there were a lot of mechanically unique cards in the set, and that could have driven sales amongst Magic players and helped, but the proof is in the pudding. The data are the data. It just did not sell that well. If it sold worse than all the standard set collector boxes of the last year, it sold worse than Infinity, and the only thing it managed to beat was March of the Machine Aftermath. So just, you know, not everything can be a home run when it comes to IP crossovers like Lord of the Rings and to a lesser extent Warhammer 40k, and Doctor Who shows that it's not just a license to print money by taking a popular IP, crossing it into Magic. You have to put some thought into what is the IP. Is the crossover effective? Do the audiences jive together well? Is there good crossover with that so that people will want to buy it just for the novelty of having Doctor Who as Magic cards, Warhammer 40k as Magic cards, Frodo as a Magic card, Transformers as a Magic card, all the rest of them. So there needs to be some thought at WotC and not just spam every IP they can get their hands on. But I suspect they're going to do it until one day we get Magic: The Gathering, The Simpsons. I'm still waiting for that one. So let me know what you think, guys. I got a couple more of these videos I'm going to be making today and publishing. Questions, comments, anything else? Thank you so much for everyone who makes this content possible, especially my supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.